There's no people on the beach. It's just me. Soft, gentle ocean breezes. I can smell the ocean. It's not too hot though. It just feels perfect. I can feel the sun on my shoulders, but it doesn't feel too hot. It's pretty, it's like the middle of the day right now. The skies are very clear. There's a few clouds, not, but mostly a very clear blue sky.
It sounds beautiful.
It is.
And so you're just laying on this beach?
Yeah, I'm just on this beach, just laying there. I'm underneath a couple of the palm trees.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of a time when I used to visit the beaches in Hawaii.
Now what I would like for you to do, I'd like you to get up and start moving around your beautiful place. I'm going to have you start looking for a path. Inhaling and exhaling. Looking for a path in your beautiful place. Once you find that path, describe it for me.
There's a little bit of, beyond the beach, there's a little bit of plants and brushway. Um, the path looks like a sand path. It doesn't look like looks like people have walked on it before,
Mm-hmm.
but there's nobody there at the beach, so it's just me.
Beautiful.
Find the path, and I'm just kind of following it.
All right, beautiful. When I count from 10 to 1, you're going to be at the end of this path. And at the end of this path will be information that we would like to use to help you in your current life. 10. And tell me what you're experiencing.
Once I get past the little green area with the brushway, I'm seeing some sort of a temple. Looks like it's very ancient. It's made out of rock. It looks very, very old, very ancient. I see a doorway to the temple, so I walk inside. There's a crystal in the middle of the temple. There's not much in the temple except for this crystal. On the walls, there's some symbols or something, but I don't really understand what the symbols mean. I just know that the information I need is within the crystal.
Can you describe the crystal for me?
It just looks like a big quartz crystal. It's very clear.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's connected to the higher realms. There's actually an open skyway or a little open hole in the ceiling that some sort of sunlight or starlight is attached to the crystal. The light's coming down and it's hitting the crystal, and the crystal is releasing its information.
Beautiful. So why don't you go ahead and access this information?
I'm connecting my third eye with the crystal. It's an energetic connection.
How does that feel connecting with that?
It's giving me a slight headache.
Mm-hmm. Just going to ask the higher self to make sure that you're comfortable during this.
Okay, yes, please. The crystal is telling me that this is ancient Lemuria.
Beautiful.
It's telling me that I've been on this mission for a long time. But this is only one of many missions I've done. This one has been the most difficult yet.
Do you know why it's been the most difficult?
It says I had to make a lot of sacrifices to be here.
Mm-hmm.
It took a lot of negotiating. to be here. It says that where I came from, it was much higher dimensional. So I had to go from being light body to physical, and that was a very hard transition. It says that in my true form, I'm a light body being. I don't even have a physical form. Go from light body to human was, I had to do a lot of negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
The powers to be in this reality. I had to give up a lot of my powers.
And so do you know what the mission is?
The overall mission is to help humanity ascend. Earth is holding all the other realities back. It's ground zero. Earth was supposed to be fifth dimensional. So I came as a representative of Galactic Center. I'm part of a higher galactic group. It's called by several names. Most people know it as the Brotherhood of All or the Watchers. It's a neutral group. They sent me here, and I volunteered to be here because somebody needed to referee what was happening here. Somebody from the council. I can see what my light body looks like.
Can you describe it for me?
It just looks like a white light. I just look like it's very large. It's almost angelic in form. It looks like sacred geometry. I don't really have a human form. I've even evolved beyond Arcturian, where I'm originally from. This has been millions of years of evolution. I have a family connection to this galactic group. So after my previous family member left the group, I was asked to join the group. I've been a representative of this consciousness ever since. I've done a lot of work in the Pleiades. That's why I know the Pleiades so well. I've done a lot of work in Lyra. I've done a lot of work in Sirius. That's why I know the histories of these star systems so well. I've been there assisting them with their evolution. Now we're working on planet Earth. I'm also seeing Mintanka in the Orion system. I was there as well. Setting up the connection between Mintanka and Arcturus. Mintanka is a great way between Arcturus and the Orion Councils of Light. I know the Orion Councils of Light. It was what was needed to happen so that we can bring peace and unity to the Orion system. Now we're trying to do the same here on Earth. Lemuria was set up to be a gateway between the fifth dimension and the third dimension. It was supposed to anchor the fifth dimensional energies here on Earth. But Lemuria got destroyed. So our plan failed. Now we're trying a different plan. Now we're creating those gateways in the DNA of the people that I work with. It's a little more difficult, takes more time. Creating those gateways for the light workers so that they are remembering why they came here. So they remember who they are. I have this knowledge. I know who they are. I've known quite a few of them. I've worked with quite a few of them in other dimensions, other realities. We all have contracts. I all have a contract with all of them to help them remember. So it's not just going to be one place that'll anchor in those fifth dimensional energies. It'll be coming from many different places, many different locations on this planet. That's the plan, is to create portals of connection to the higher realms for many different people. My guides are telling me right now, or my higher self, I think, this is my higher self, is telling me that I am actually the higher self. I'm the higher self, but I'm not the higher self. But I am the higher self. It's telling me that that's why they want me to go on the public circuit. That's why they want me on TV, because that way more people will get activated. More people will start remembering who they are and why they came to Earth. This is part of a big experiment. It's a part of a game we all chose to play. The energies have been shifted towards the dark side. It's like there's a scale, and the scale is been heavily weighed down on the dark side for thousands upon thousands of years on this planet, ever since the fall of Lemuria. I am here to balance the scales, to bring more of a balance to the light side, to bring in the higher dimensional energies, to help people remember who they truly are and why they decided to play this game. That's why this is such a hard mission. People here are very asleep. The programming is very heavy. I was asleep for a long time. My earth self was asleep. I had contracts with certain friends and companions that I have graciously agreed to help me awaken. Terry is one. He's actually very high dimensional. He doesn't remember that, but he is. My cat, Piglet, is like Terry was first level, Piglet was second level, Arcturians were third level. So it had to happen in stages. They said it would have been too shocking if it happened all at once. Been planning this mission for a long time. I've spent many lifetimes preparing for it. I spent lifetimes in Sirius and Pleiades. I'm remembering going through the Syrian mystery schools. Syrian mystery schools were very difficult. A lot of the people that I know that are my clients also went through these schools. We all had an agreement. You and I have an agreement. We're all part of the same overall soul family. It was a soul family that originated from this galaxy. This galaxy started off as an experiment. It was once part of Andromeda Galaxy. It had to separate so that it caused descent into physicality. Many of us actually originated from Andromeda Galaxy, but when the Andromeda Galaxy broke apart when the Milky Way broke apart from the Andromeda Galaxy, a lot of us came along with it as a higher consciousness. We knew that this was an experiment that has never been accomplished before, and so we knew that this was the beginning of a descent into physicality. It was supposed to be much more gentler than what it ended up being. There were galactic councils that were established immediately after the creation of Antares. Antares was the first gate that was created in this galaxy. Antares is the gateway that connects Andromeda Galaxy to Milky Way Galaxy. After that gateway was created, it was a decision that was made to create the Arcturus Gateway. Arcturians did not follow the same human evolution as other star races, but they are connected to those star races. They're the prototype. They were always set aside to be the prototype. That was when I first came into physical reality was in Arcturus. Was born to an Arcturian father and mother. I remember the birth. They melded their energies, and then I came about. I was already an existing soul. They just created the portal for me to come into. I already knew what my mission was, even as a small Arcturian child. I was groomed throughout my childhood to become an Arcturian ambassador. My first assignment was Lyra. Lyra was the beginning of the experiment. The Arcturians did not create Lyra, but they supported it. Arcturians were spiritual guides to the Lyrans and to the Vega people. We were created before they were. We were a separate consciousness. Arcturus was always set aside to be the spiritual guardians. That's why it's such a special star system. That's why it was created to be a stargate. We're the spiritual guardians that watch over the evolution of the beings that are in this particular galaxy. And also any other dimensional realms that's connected to this realm. Lyra was going to need support. Lyra was purposely created next to Draco. We knew that was going to be dangerous. The galactic councils did not realize how much damage that was going to cause. It was an experiment. They thought, let's create a light system next to a dark system. Draco represented the dark aspects of ourselves. Lyra Vega was the light aspects. Let's put them next to each other and see what happens. They didn't realize the destruction. They didn't realize how far the dark was going to go to destroy the light. I was there in Lyra during the destruction. I died. My physical form died. I was Arcturian, but I was able to inhabit a physical form. It didn't look Lyran. It looked Arcturian. The Lyrans knew that I was Arcturian. I tried to warn them. I tried to warn them against the destruction. They didn't listen. The Draconians were promising them advanced technology that was enticing to them. They needed technology. The destruction was painful. Many people lost their lives. I saw many people die. I felt like I failed the mission. Felt a lot of guilt around it. I asked my council, my higher selves, what did I do wrong? And they said nothing. They said you didn't do anything wrong. It was just the way things had to happen. But then I asked them why all the suffering. People are suffering from the Lyran Wars, the results of the Lyran Wars, even today, from millions of years after the wars. They said that we had to follow through with this experiment. The Lyran Wars created the expansion of other beings into other star systems. It created the expansion of planet Earth. Planet Earth was set aside as a special experiment. Planet Earth was supposed to be the accumulation of many different star systems. It has plants and animals and genetics from all the different star systems of this galaxy. That's why Atlantis and Lemuria were created. It was meant to be the Earth versions of Lyra and Vega, with Lemuria being the representation of Vega, which is Mother God consciousness. Atlantis was a representation of Lyra, which is Father God consciousness. the Atlanteans got seduced just like the Lyrans did, which created the destruction of Lemuria and Atlantis. When this happened, I was asked to come here. I haven't had many incarnations here. Earth is not my home. I was only here 4 times before this life. Most of my incarnations previous incarnations were as male, with the exception of my Lemurian lifetime. I didn't feel safe being female when Earth fell to 3rd dimension. I don't really feel safe being female in this incarnation. We need to restore the balance of the masculine and feminine, as well as the balance between the light and the dark. Right now, it's leaned totally towards patriarchy and darkness. Not that patriarchy is dark, but extreme patriarchy this is the dark aspect of patriarchy. We're trying to shift it back to more of a balance of femininity, of divine feminine aspects. Without this integration, we can't anchor in the 5th dimensional energies. I couldn't do this as a higher dimensional being. I had to incarnate here on Earth. Hence all the negotiations. The powers to be on this planet knew who I was. They knew what I came here to do. I had to negotiate with them to incarnate into human form. They made it very difficult for me. I couldn't remember who I was. I couldn't remember anything. I didn't have any of my powers. I had to give up a lot to be here. I had it a little bit easier in male bodies. Female bodies were difficult to be here. There wasn't many lives here. I did what I could in each life. Lemuria was beautiful. I thought, okay, this isn't so bad. It's nice. I like Lemuria. I'm in a group with people. It's my first time being in human form. I'm very beautiful. I'm actually tall in this life. I have darker skin. I have long, dark hair, very long. I feel very comfortable in my human form, which surprised me. I could run and swim and do things. I remember being able to do things I can't do now. I loved the freedom that I had. I used to laugh a lot in that life. I was always laughing and making jokes and telling stories. I had a husband who loved me. My husband in that lifetime is my husband in this lifetime. We knew each other. We actually knew each other before Earth. That's why we wanted to recreate Lemuria in our lives to this life. Terry knew even before I did that we wanted to create Lemuria, recreate it. Because we missed our life from Lemuria. It was beautiful. We used to dive into the waters and we didn't even really need any apparatuses. It was so beautiful. We could telepathically communicate with the aquatic beings. We would we used to be able to ride in canoes. That's why I love sea kayaking, because it reminds me of that time when we used to row the canoes to the different islands. I used to remember being able to even to fly. I was able to fly. I don't know how I was able to do that in human form, but I was able to raise my consciousness and levitate, and I was able to fly. I had that ability, was a priestess of some sort. I used to help guide people through dream time. I remember dream time. We went through many different dimensions. My husband would do this as well. I did it mostly for the women. He would do it for the men. He used to have many abilities. He's forgotten in this life. He was actually a soul from Sirius and Lyra. He and I had a contract to come together here to Lemuria. We taught the people many things. We always made things fun. We always had fun. It was always supposed to be fun. That's the way life is supposed to be here on Earth, is happy and joyous and being with beings and with other sentient beings, having being so completely connected with all these beings. This is the way it was supposed to be. Then we started getting attacked. We don't know why we were being attacked. Large ships that were in the water that would come and attack us. We didn't understand. Why were they attacking us? We didn't do anything to them. Why are they attacking us? They're killing our people. They're destroying our beautiful continent, our beautiful islands. We tried to stop them. We couldn't. I levitated myself to see if I could get more information. I was trying to see if I could get more information. I was trying to get more information from their ships. So I levitated myself, and they blasted me out of the sky, and I fell. I fell a very long way down, and I died. Terry tried to warn me, that the man that's Terry in this life, that was my husband from that life. He told me not to do it, but I felt like I needed to get information on why they were attacking us. So maybe that we can negotiate with them. They just blasted me out of the sky. It's why I have a fear of heights today. I didn't know this until now, or didn't remember it. I couldn't remember my life from Lemuria before now. My husband watches over me in many of our incarnations. He was part of a council, an alternate council that was assigned to be my partner and my guide. Maybe not so much my guide, that's not the right word. He's like my protector, but he couldn't protect me in that Lemurian life. I remember falling, and I remember feeling all of my bones crushed on the ground. I knew at that point that things were never going to be the same on Earth. I also knew that I was never going to be the same. The next incarnation after that was in Egypt. I incarnated as an African slave. I was male. I was very big and very well physically built. I was a slave. I worked the mines. I worked with the pyramids. I worked with help. I was one of the slaves that was used to help build the pyramids. They did utilize quite a bit of sound frequency, so it wasn't like we had to really carry heavy stones, but we had to do other things to support the stones that were hard labor. I struggled a lot. I was very young. I was only in my teens. However, I had a special gift no one knew about. I had the ability to interpret dreams. people would come from far and wide to help me, for me to help them interpret their dreams. But I was still a slave. I was still forced to work the mines and to work in I don't know, it was hard. I can't remember very much. I don't think I wanted to remember. It was very physically difficult. One day I was in the quarry, and I was told there was a visitor there that wanted to see me. And I thought, well, who in the world would want to see me? I'm just a slave. And I looked up, and there was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. She was wearing priestess garbs, and she looked beautiful and kind. She had long hair. She looked Egyptian. And I thought, why would an Egyptian priestess want to talk to me? I'm just a slave. She came to me and she said that she heard of my special gifts and that she wanted to buy my freedom. And I just thought, wow, that's wonderful. I was so grateful. I fell at her feet. She said, get up, you're not a slave anymore. And she gave a big bag of money to my slave master. And she said that you're free, but we would love for you to come and stay with us at our priesthood. And I asked, well, who is your god or goddess? And she says, it's a goddess, and her name is Ma'at. And I said, oh, the goddess of truth and justice. I said, that is appropriate. I would definitely love to come stay with you. So I knew of the gods and goddesses, even though they were Egyptian. I had this knowledge. I knew I was actually very intelligent, despite my lack of education. I learned how to read Egyptian, even though I wasn't Egyptian. I knew what the hieroglyphics meant. I knew a lot of things that slaves weren't supposed to know. So I went with this priestess to her temple. It was a beautiful temple. She said, you can stay here and work with us if you like, but you're also free to go. And I said, well, I can't go. I said, I am indebted to you. I need to stay. The priestess was very kind. I knew her from before. She was the being that was also the being that incarnated as my cat in this life. I've known her from Lyra. We've had many ups and downs together. She was beautiful and had a beautiful heart, but she's made some mistakes. Part of her mission on Earth was to make reparations for some of those mistakes. I knew her from Lyra. I don't know if I recognized her, though, in that lifetime. Maybe I did. I was willing to do things for her that I wasn't willing to do for anybody else, because she saved my life. She bought my freedom. I ended up working as a dream interpreter. I helped her with some of the rituals. I did almost everything there. I was also a bodyguard. I was very big. I had a lot of muscles. Muscles that were developed from working in the quarries. So I was very strong physically. I had black skin. I was from Ethiopia originally. I was captured as a slave and sold into the slave market as a very young child, or young. I think I was maybe younger, in my pre-teens. Because I was so big, they thought I would make a good slave. So they sold me to Egyptians. I worked hard for several years. I was happy to be free. I was willing to do anything for this beautiful priestess. She was the human representation of Ma'at. So this beautiful priestess was the one who made the decision during when people would die and we would go through the burial process. She was the one who made the decision on whether or not they would go onto the afterlife or not. She would take a feather from her headdress and place the feather on the scale, and then the embalmers would place the heart of the deceased onto the scale. And if the heart didn't stay balanced with the feather, they weren't going to the afterlife. It was a magical feather. It wasn't just a regular feather. It was a magical feather. She was able to see into the hearts of men and women and knew whether or not they were able to go into the afterlife. She made some enemies because she made the decision on whether or not their loved ones were able to go into the afterlife. And some of these people were not of good hearts, so she didn't allow them to go into the afterlife. Her life was threatened many times. As her friend and her body guardian, I knew that I had to do whatever it took to help her and to keep her safe. She never asked me to do this, but I killed some people that were threatening her. I did this out of sense of loyalty and sense of love. I didn't really want to kill them, but I did. It was hard to kill people. I felt a lot of guilt around it. It's been guilt I've been working through for many lifetimes, or lifetimes at least here on Earth. Some people I killed were very prominent in Egyptian aristocracy. I had to pay a price for what I did. It didn't happen in that lifetime. It happened in consequent lifetimes. I spent the rest of my life with the priesthood of Ma'at. I had a long life with them, but things got very political and very difficult. I didn't like the politics. I didn't like having to constantly watch over my priestess and make sure that she stayed safe. Egypt was supposed to be better than Atlantis, but it became worse. I was glad to be done with that life. It was a hard life. There was other lives on Earth, not many. There was only 4 lives. I'm not sure, but one life was in Japan. I was a Buddhist monk. It was a very humble life. I didn't have anything. I just lived for for Buddha. The happiest times I had was when I was painting Asian landscapes. I was very good at it. That's why I saw the landscapes on the ship, because they were my creation. It was a time when I felt very happy in an otherwise very difficult life. Sometimes we didn't always have food. Sometimes I was hungry because we received only donations. And sometimes food was plentiful and sometimes it wasn't. A lot of times it wasn't. I was very small and thin in this life. I looked Japanese. I was male. A lot of times I felt hungry. I didn't like feeling hungry. I would paint sometimes to get away from feeling hungry. Painting was a distraction. I liked, I think, my life otherwise. I had good friends, other monks who were my friends. I felt a sense of purpose. I felt a sense of community. It was very different than my life in Egypt. My life in Egypt was a lot of backstabbing and intrigue. This life was very calm and very quiet and very uneventful. The worst part was sometimes being hungry and sometimes not having things that we needed. Sometimes I would get sick and it was hard to find a doctor. Sometimes things would happen and I had a happy life, even though it was physically hard. The life I had after that was in Sparta, was in Greece. I was supposed to be born, but I was aborted. I was supposed to be born to a courtesan of the Spartan king. She was very ambitious. She didn't want to have me, so she aborted me. I decided I was going to come back right away. I incarnated into a noble family of Sparta that did want me, was male in this lifetime too. I had a brother. The brother and I were very close. In Spartan tradition, we were taught how to fight. And so we learned to use swords, and we would constantly be practicing fighting, and with each other and with others. This was the Spartan way. We were also very well educated. We went to the best tutors and teachers who taught us how to read and write in many languages. Well, maybe not many, but we learned to write in Latin. We learned to write in Greek. We learned Aramaic. We learned several languages. We were well educated. We were able to, we knew all the writings of the philosophers. We knew all the writings of the playwrights. We were educated. We knew math and science. I was supposed to be a nobleman, and I was the firstborn, so I was supposed to be the one that inherited my father's lands and my father's things. All his belongings, all his wealth. Sparta went to war with many neighboring countries and provinces. I was sent to war with my brother. It was the Spartan way. We were supposed to do that. So we were well trained. Even though we were noble people, we fought along with all the other Spartans because that's what they did. We all fought together for the glory of Sparta. I felt confident in my fighting abilities. I was strong, even though I wasn't very tall, but I was strong. My brother was taller than me, but he was younger. We both had very light hair. We were Greek, but we were fair-skinned and fair-haired. We were admired from many people because of our looks. We were beautiful. We went to war. I'm not sure who it was against. I think it was maybe a group from Middle East. I'm not sure who they were. I was in a chariot making my way towards the battleground. And somehow somebody threw a spear at me and hit me in my side. I fell out of the chariot and got my legs crushed from the wheels of the chariot. I was in a lot of pain. My brother saw me. My brother ran to me. I told him I didn't think I was going to make it, that he needed to just go on and forget about me. My brother said, "No, I'm not going to leave you. You're going to be okay." I said, "No, I'm dying. I can't stay. I'm in too much pain." My brother cried as he held my hand while I passed away. I was young at the time. I was only in my 20s. I didn't come back to Earth for a while. I decided to come back in this timeline because this was the most important life out of all of them. My contract was only for 5 lives. This life has been, I've chosen to come in as female. It was a risky choice. I had to learn what it was like to be female again because the only other life I had was, female life I had here was in Lemuria. I'm actually more of a feminine energy, even though I come from Arcturus. I feel more comfortable being female, but physically it was better to be male on Earth. Female was not good on Earth. I made contracts to go through every single experience that women go through on planet Earth, every single suffering. I was supposed to accomplish this before age 50. So I went through every single suffering that every woman goes through on this planet so that I can understand. I can understand what women go through here and help them reach their empowerment. I'm also here to help men. I help men to understand and to get in touch with their feminine side. I'm here to help integrate the feminine energies, to help bring the balance. First part of my life was very difficult here. The contract was to awaken by age 50. In 2012, when I had my experience, that was a month before I turned age 50. They were on time. However, I had helpers, like I mentioned before. My brother was also, in my Spartan life, was my husband in this life. He and I have had a contract to work together. I've waited 40 years before I met him in this life. When I met him, I felt a sense of recognition. I knew who he was, and on a deeper level, maybe not consciously. I knew the work was going to start at that point. At this point, now I understand why I went through so much of what I went through, because I was supposed to. I'm here to help many, and it's going to be not easy, but it's going to be successful in this life. I'm very, very excited for what's going to be coming for humanity. I see a bright light, and I'm feeling the love energies. The dark, however, is fighting hard against us. They try to attack me. I don't allow them. I just don't allow them. It's against their contract. I'm not supposed to be attacked. That was part of the contract. They break their contract. They always break their contract. contracts with us. I kind of laugh because it's almost like we expect it. They find many loopholes in our contracts to use against us. They make things as difficult for us as possible when we come here. Even though my first part of my life was hard, I survived, and I'm here on my mission. So when I came down with cancer, I had to continue my mission. I could not allow the cancer to stop me. I've gone too far. I've invested too much into this planet. Just for me to leave with my tail between my legs was not an option. I wasn't going to do that. So I continued to stay. Even though I could feel my body breaking down. I know my body is not at its best form right now. I would like for it to get better. I'm not sure how. I'm not a physical being. I don't understand the mechanics of this planet. My body in this lifetime is probably the least strongest out of all the bodies I've had in previous lifetimes. So it's frustrating because I want to do the work, but the body holds me back. Sometimes I'm very tired. Sometimes my stomach doesn't feel well. Sometimes I have headaches. Sometimes I just want to go to sleep. I'm supposed to write a book. I've been told I was supposed to write a book. I haven't started. I need to write the book. Humans need to know their true history. They need to know they're part of a greater galactic family. It's up to me to write the book. There's been other books written before mine, but mine's going to have the entire story. I need to be physically fit and physically and healthy so I can do what I came here to do.
Thank you for that. That was beautiful. I definitely appreciate that. I know she will too. That was a ton of information.
It was a lot.
What is the next evolution of her spiritual work?
This is the higher self that will be answering that. And that's a very good question. That's the best question that she's had. So,
beautiful. It is beautiful.
Yeah, I like that question. She is going to go in the public arena. This has been planned. She's been planning for this for many lifetimes. She's actually well groomed for it. She doesn't think she is, but she is. She knows what to say. We'll help her with some of the speech patterns and with some of the confidence, but she knows what to do from here. Beyond this, she will be becoming a writer and a public persona. People will know who she is. This is not from ego self. This is from the Galactic Council. She knew she came here to do this work. She's done it in other star systems. Earth has been more difficult because Earth has a lot of programs that are negative. She knew this coming here, that she would have to work through these negative programs and shift and change them. We're going to assist her with that. From here, what her spiritual evolution is going to be is she's going to become a representation of the fifth dimensional human. So this is why she's been able to achieve so much success in the last few years, because she is becoming a model for this prototype, this new human prototype. Humans need a prototype that they can follow. Not that she will become a guru or by any means, or tell people how they should live their lives, but she will be a model for how they can attain that for themselves. She knew coming here this was part of her mission. This is why it was so important for her to attain success after the first 50 years where she experienced a lot of failures. She knows that now she's a model for the fifth dimensional human. Many people are going to be inspired by what she'll be able to accomplish. And it's not just for herself, it's going to be for humanity. It's going to allow people a template to follow. So she's just creating the template. She's been a template builder. She's built templates before in other star systems. She's very good at this. We love her templates. This is a template that'll be very easily followed by others. They're going to see success and be able to achieve their best lives. The Akashic records of readings are just the beginning of this. It's going to go beyond this. She's going to create other templates beyond the Akashic records readings that are going to assist people in obtaining and achieving their fifth dimensional lives. The fifth dimensional life is not an event that happens on the outside. It's an event that happens within each human soul. She was aware of this. She always knew this. There's other teachers that say it's an outside event. That is not correct. It's actually has to occur within each individual that is here. Once these templates are created within many different individuals, the frequency will naturally shift. We will naturally create a fifth dimensional reality. The dark cabal is going to try to stop us, but we will not allow them to stop us. They are trying right now to stop us. That train has already left the station, as she would say it. That was her terminology, not mine. But we are going forward with this. It's going to be a reality shift for people coming from the inside out, not from the outside in. And it'll be a magnificent evolution. This is what she's come here to do. She's not the only one that's come here to do this. There's many others that have also come here to do this. She's just one of many. We consider her special because she's from our council. So, of course, we have a vested interest in her success. After her Earth incarnations, or this incarnation on Earth, she will not be coming back here. Her job here will be finished. She will return to the galactic center where she will be welcomed and well loved and received by our council. I think she might spend some time at home in Arcturus, but then she'll be embarking on a different mission. We already know what that mission is. We are going to rebuild Lyra and Vega. That is something that should have happened a long time ago, but Earth had to get to its fifth dimensional status on its own before we recreate Lyra and Vega. That'll be the next project she will be involved with. That will be a much easier, much more enjoyable project for her, I think. It's going to be, the reason for that is because we are establishing the original Lyra Vega template on planet Earth. The North Star is shifting to Vega. It's now in Polaris. It's going to shift to Vega. This is a scientific fact. Scientists even here on Earth know this, so it's not a big secret. However, what they don't know is that the template is going to change, and we're going to shift this energy the template here on Earth, from the old Orion templates to the new Lyra Vega templates. It's actually the old Lyra Vega templates, what we call it new. It's going to be an evolution, not only for Earth, but for all star races. We are all looking forward to this. This will complete the healing here in this galaxy once we rebuild Lyra and Vega. From there, we can evolve even further towards our original source, which will be towards our original source, which would be our mother galaxy. We will be returning to our mother galaxy. That would be Andromeda Galaxy. Humans will continue to evolve, and they will continue to go through many evolutions. Their physical bodies will change. They will no longer have carbon-based bodies. They will start achieving crystalline bodies. Even the way they look might change. They will achieve magnificence beyond what they've ever dreamed of through their many lifetimes, many thousands of years of enslavement that's been occurring here on this planet. We're going to free the humanity. The humanity is going to flourish and thrive, and we're happy to be of service and happy to be of assistance. So this is what she's here to do. As far as her most physical steps that she needs to take, because I know that's part of the question, she will need to continue her training. She's already aware of this. It's not that much. She's already mostly there. She's actually going to be attending training in the country of Romania next month. That will assist her a lot with the next step that she's about to embark on. We highly encouraged her. We made it very easy for her to go to Romania. So we made it, we want her to go there because there's some imperative information she needs there. At this point, she'll be ready for any public appearances, whether it be on Gaia or anywhere else. By the way, we love the name of the Gaia. We love that. It's very nice. We will be excited for her to be in that platform. That platform will give her a lot of exposure. It'll be information that is mostly badly needed by humanity. She's aware of this, and she's been working very hard. We know she's worked very, very hard in getting herself out of the matrix here. We honor her persistence and her efforts. They have not gone unnoticed by the council. She will be magnificently rewarded for enduring the struggles that she has. The rewards have already started. They will only get better from here. We are going to assist her with the physical aspects. We are aware of this. It will happen. She just needs to be patient. It took many years for her body to get to this point. We're going to help reverse it. It won't take quite as many years to get her back. So if she's thinking that, she needs to stop thinking that. That is an incorrect belief. It's part of the programming here. We're breaking the programming. We are here to achieve success. And with success we will achieve here in this reality. We are going to see Earth ascend to the 5th dimension. It's going to be little sparks of light that'll be blossomed in every human being that hears the correct teachings. They will hear the right information. The information will activate memories within them. The information will activate their abilities. They will be doing great work as well. There's many that are doing this. We are here to assist them. That's what we came here to do, was to assist all these magnificent souls that are here right now doing the light work. You are one of those souls. We are honored to work with you. We are honored to be reconnected with you. We know who you are. We know that you too made many sacrifices to be here. That you came from the beautiful constellation of Pleiades. We know that, and we honor that. We thank you for assisting this vessel in her work here. Thank you so much for everything that you've done, and thank you for assisting our vessel in achieving her mission. Many blessings to you as well.
Thank you. I honor you, I respect you, and I'm thankful that we were able to connect.
The only message that we want to give her is that she is so protected and so loved. And not only from us, but also from many souls here on this planet. She's very well known from on our level, our higher level, but she'll become more well known on the human level. She already has a lot of souls out there that love her and support her and want to see her successful. I think sometimes she doesn't see that for herself, but it's there, and we want her to be aware of that she's so loved and so protected and so appreciated. We know that it's been a struggle for her being here. We know that. She's forgotten, I think, many times the connection to the higher realms. This was not her fault. It was just how things are here. We are wanting her to let her know that she is very much loved, very much appreciated, very much honored and respected. She does not need to allow anybody to ever disrespect her again. That is not appropriate. It is not accepted. She's an honorable being. She came here from a long ways away to be here. She deserves all the love and respect that is coming to her. So that's the only message that we would like to end with today during this transmission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, higher self. Thank you very much, guides. Thank you, angels and archangels. All the beings that assisted today, it is with great love and great thanks that we had this interaction. I now ask that all beings that assisted with this today recede to where they belong. With great love and great thanks.